Today we are talking about investing, for example, in Dubai and generally about the topic of the Emirates. Is it worth it or not? Let's find out. The image of glittering skyscrapers rising like a mirage from the desert has fueled the imagination of many investors. The United Arab Emirates, especially Dubai, are known worldwide for their impressive architecture and rapidly growing real estate market. But is investing in the Emirates really as safe and profitable as it seems at first glance? For the answer, you should definitely stay tuned now. Welcome to the new podcast, From Saver to Investor. My name is Fabian Schuster, and my vision is to narrow the gap between rich and poor in the German-speaking region. When I'm not sitting here in front of the microphone, then I am exactly for this reason. For over 10 years, I have been working as a managing director and consultant in our company, Qatar Co. Together, we have independently helped well over 500 people in becoming investors from savers. In collaboration with our clients, we have been able to build not only high 7 or even 8-figure assets, but also to preserve them. And it is precisely this experience-based knowledge that we want to share with you, completely free of charge through our podcast and YouTube channel, UAE. Let's clarify something right at the beginning. Anyone looking for a property abroad might come across articles or YouTube videos recommending Dubai or other Emirates. At first glance, this seems extremely tempting. We readily admit that. There is a bustling tourist scene with a wide range of activities and luxury. A holiday property, for example, would certainly be in high demand. And sometimes you might even pay a visit yourself. And when you read the articles that report on all the additional benefits of buying property there, the investment eyes can really light up. For example, one of the first articles we can find there states that the purchase process is significantly faster than in Germany and that you don't even need to go to a notary. Several attractive arguments are mentioned there, and there are plenty of such articles on the internet. However, critical points are addressed far too rarely, and that's why we're taking it upon ourselves. Point number one, and also the most significant, is the legal uncertainty in these states. The legal system in the Emirates differs significantly from that of Germany, and significantly so. In many Emirates states, foreign investors are limited in their ability to own real estate, severely restricted. While some zones are open to foreign owners, purchasing outside these areas often only means a long-term usage right and not actual ownership. And most are not even aware of this. In the event of legal disputes, this can mean that you as investors simply lose your money. And one must not forget that laws and regulations on property ownership and acquisition can change so quickly that they are no longer applicable, often without warning. Just as quickly as deals are incredibly closed, sometimes within a few minutes or even seconds, the conditions can just as swiftly and unexpectedly change in a completely different and unforeseen direction. So anyone living in Germany must constantly stay informed and maintain a good overview. Starting a legal dispute in another country could become costly and extremely exhausting. How quickly deals can change due to a different cultural situation there was recently demonstrated by the World Cup in Qatar, for example. As some of you might know, the beer brand Budweiser has been around for a very long time, a World Cup sponsor. However, alcohol is actually not served in Qatar. Well, that's awkward, Budweiser wrote at the time on the Twitter platform, but as it was still called, then. And rightly so, because after much back and forth about whether there could be exceptions for tourists, the beer distributor was left in the end. But they were stuck with their massive amounts of cans that had already been delivered there and needed to be kept chilled further, and so on. But all right, let's go back to the real estate market. We don't want to talk about beer. And the volatility in the real estate market also needs to be considered. Because the real estate markets in the Emirates are known for their strong movements and fluctuations. After years of rapid growth, prices can fall just as quickly. And we're not even talking about the fact that now it always means yes. In Germany, the last 10 to 15 years have also been a great time in the real estate market. True, for example, Now, interest rates have risen sharply, but that doesn't mean that prices have suddenly dropped by 80%. When I look at the property market reports, we are usually talking about price drops of 10% or 15% at most for residential properties, if that's even the case, and if a sale has to be realized at all. We will also talk about that the overproduction of buildings and the construction of projects without sufficient market research can simply lead to saturation and falling prices. And we also know that not everything that glitters is gold over there. It's clear the impressive buildings of the Emirates were often constructed under extremely questionable working conditions and often with inferior quality. I had this reported to me by a friend who has also been deeply involved with the subject. The definition of a straight wall in Germany differs significantly from a straight wall in Dubai. And the criticism regarding the treatment of guest workers, especially concerning their living and working conditions, is widespread. An ethically oriented investor should simply take this into account in their decision and be aware that tourists who value these issues will also not visit such countries. In conclusion, the following can be said. Foreign investments, especially in the Emirates, can be extremely tempting, particularly due to the speed of execution and the enormous opportunities. People, though, don't get me wrong, I wish Germany would take a leaf out of their book in terms of speed and especially the openness of the architectural landscape in the metropolises. Nevertheless, as investors, we should be aware of the risks associated with political, cultural, and legal differences. It is therefore always advisable to thoroughly inform yourself before such an investment and, if necessary, consult local experts. And if that's too hard for you, and I don't just mean the temperatures there, then we are happy to be your local experts for real estate investments in Germany. Things might not move as mega fast here, but at least you know what you're getting and that everything will be solid and reliable. We are happy to advise you in a free initial consultation, and then we'll simply see which perfect investment opportunity can be found for you. One that also targets your individual needs. So don't hesitate, you can simply contact us via the contact form here, which I will link for you. And we respond almost as quickly as a land registry entry in Qatar. So, if you haven't had enough of our podcast and this topic, you can also tune into episode 187. There we discuss the general pros and cons of renting out where others vacation. So, if you don't want to miss the next episode, be sure to subscribe to the channel because there will be another exciting new episode. Until then, you're Fabian.